Hello, today I am going over every damage buff unit in the game Ultimate Tower Defense. So the main ones most people use is Green Drago and Rage Drago, also called Red Drago. Green Drago gives a 75% damage buff for all units in a match. The time that the buffs last can be anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, which that depends on the trait, if it's shiny and prestige plus rarity. Not sure if artifacts work for any of the Dragos. Next is Red Drago. What he does is something similar, but even stronger with an additional buff. Red Drago gives it a 100% damage buff for the same amount of time as Green Drago. His additional buff, that is also as long, making any friendly summons move 50% faster. Next is Goku Drip, that gives a 15% damage buff that lasts during the whole match if placed. He has small range, so place him close to units, and in a match get him to max upgrade, so his range reaches more units again, and not sure about artifacts. Next is Yumio. Also, these are the in-game names due to copyright. But anyways, Yumio is a farm with the ability called Dice Roll with numbers 1 through 6. Here's what she can do if you roll on these numbers during the ability. Number 1 Jackpot, gain 100k cash. Number 2 Bankruptcy, lose 50,000 cash and all upgrades on Yumio. Number 3 plus 75% damage to all units in her range. Hash from minus 32.5% damage to all units in her range. Hash 5 plus 50% range to all units in her range. Number 6 lose minus 25% range to all units in her range. Next is World's Strongest Man, who gives a 10% buff for 5 seconds. When he hits a critical, the buff will activate. He also gives himself the buff his crit chance is small, but the buff can be helpful. Finally is Leafy. She gives a 20% damage and range buff to others in her range. She also attacks and gives the buff to herself. The summon amount is 1 for the dragons, the cooldown is 20 seconds. Leafy and Goku Drip placement is 3. World's Strongest Man is 5 placement. Yumio is 1 placement.